Today we're doing something really fun. Taking all the wiring off the engine and shipping it up to the electrician to get the engine wiring harness built. Let's get it. Got the wires that would run from the battery to the alternator to the starter motor, the harness that came off the top of the engine that ran all through the engine, injector connectors. I'll put in a few other bits and pieces, give them a diagram of all the distances and things like that, and get it sent off. I've got some POR 15 left over, so may as well use it. Going to strip out the paint on the inside of the, I don't know what you call it, the inside of the inner fenders, outside of the outer edge of the engine bay. Anyway, going to strip the paint off them, paint them POR 15 black. Should look a bit neater and tidier. There's some crusty shit on there. So let's get into it. Okay, you can see it's all this crusty stuff there. So first I'll cover struts up and the brakes, and I'll put slices with just a razor blade through all this just to cut through it so the stripper can actually get underneath and bind it out. I've already done, if you can see under here, I did this side there in POR 15 already. Got to do the inside there, but I'll do this whole piece now. My trusty car builder's knife. I guess how much bog and rust we're going to find under here. That'll be interesting. I finished this tin and I bought a new tin because it looks like I might need it. This stuff is extremely thick and crusty, so I think I'll need a few layers. Getting there slowly. That's like the fourth coat of this shit. Under here is really hard to get into, so it's a pain. If you do it, make sure you do it before you've got all this stuff in there, because it'll be a lot easier. No strut in there, no brakes in there, all that engine shit. It's coming along nicely. All up in here, all the rubber is really removed. The rest of it's pretty much, I guess, good enough to paint over. There's a little bit of rust right down here. All there. Bog there. And a piece of bog there, but the rest all seems okay. This furry little thing took a long time to strip the tire off, so let's try something a bit more heavy duty, more aggressive. why I titled this video How Not to Do This Job, because you'd rather have all this out of there when you're doing it as opposed to trying to get into it like I am now. So that's pretty clean. It's going to be very hard to get into all there, so I mean it's just rubberized body deadener, so it's no big deal. When I do eventually take all this out and plan to properly paint the car and fix all the little itty bits of rust, I will do this. I'll be able to strip it totally, but most of it's gone, all that's pretty much gone. So it's just a matter of now. So for now, it'll do. I don't need to go overboard with it. Most of it's gone. There's a little bit in there, who cares? Once I paint it over with POR 15, you won't notice. And I'm going to put, just through here anyway, I'm going to put some new fresh body deadener over the top of the POR 15. Obviously the POR 15 will help prevent against rust, and then the body deadener will just make the road sound not as bad. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit there. I'll get to it one day eventually. One last wipe down and make sure it's all clean. Just doing the last bit of paint stripping on the passenger side. Looking okay too. Probably a little bit less rust than the other side. I think there was a crash on the other side. But this looks okay. So if you saw my last video about stripping something and prepping it for POR 15, this is the stuff I use. You basically just got to put it into a spray bottle like this and just spray the area for like 20 minutes. Got to keep it moist. I think I'm going to do 20 minutes, but I'll do close to it. Then you got to let it dry. It's got to be bone dry before you can put POR 15 on it. So let's get into that. So just keeping it wet at the moment. Anyone know if that's a repair job or is that and down there? I'm guessing it is, unless Datsun had some, even up here, dodgy welds, or it looks like dodgy welds, just tack welded all the way in down there, two along here. If anyone can, over here obviously that's a repair, that chunk in there and where the rust is. Is that a patch panel? Or was that how it was from factory? If you can leave a comment below, that'd be great. Just keeping this as wet as I can. You can sort of tell when it starts drying, it starts to get a bit flaky and chalky, so you just got to keep wetting it. It's drying up nicely now. You can see all the chalkiness over everything. It's got to be bone dry, so I'll let that dry before I put POR 15 on. I'm wondering if I put seam sealer through along here, along there, through there. It's already got shit in there anyway, so I'm not sure it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Might just leave it for now because, as I said, I will get to this eventually at a later date. I'm sort of doing this to kill some time while the engine harness, which I'm expecting this week. Anyway, next episode, I'm going to finish this off. And we'll get into it with some seam sealer and some POR 15. But that's for the next episode because I've run out of time this week. Have a good week, guys.